Behind every smile, there can be a silent battle. Millions of people, maybe our friends, coworkers, family, can be struggling with something we can't always see. On this World Mental Health Day today, the message is simple. You're not alone. The World Health Organization estimates 970 million people worldwide, or roughly 1 in 8 people, live with a mental health disorder, primarily anxiety and depression. Here in Georgia, nearly 40% of people in the state say they have anxiety or depression. And as for treatment, mental health accounts for only about 2% of median government health budgets globally, and fewer than half of countries have integrated mental health into primary care systems. So let's dive into breaking the stigma of mental health with Metro Atlanta mental health care professional Laura Morse. Thanks for the time.
Yes, thank you, Cheryl. I'm so glad to be with you today.
Yeah, such an important conversation. We talk so often about mental health in statistics, but what do those numbers look like in real life?
Like you said, they look like 1 in 7 to 8 adults and 1 to 6 to 7 children or youth are experiencing some kind of mental health concern. And so these are our neighbors, our family members, our friend, our community, our workplace. And so it's really important, I think, for all of us, whether we are in an active mental health issue or concern, to be empathetic and supportive of our community.
How has your own definition of mental health changed over time, personally and professionally? We have seen this conversation evolve.
Yes, thank you. That's such a great question. I was trained in the 90s and there was more of a medically based model. So it was this idea of what is wrong with you. Something is problematic and there's some type of illness. And of course, there is mental illness, but there's also mental health and concerns that is not necessarily an illness. And prevention and discussion and support really can change a person's outlook and experience and quality of life.
You know, we talked about how common anxiety is, even if you just look at the state of Georgia. What are some of the most common struggles that you're seeing among clients right now?
I think that there's so much access to news and media, and of course, there's a lot of negativity and really difficult things going on in this world, but we are digesting it in such huge amounts every single day. And so without just having your own concerns, maybe you have a family member that's having problems or there's some kind of family or emotional couples conflict, then you're thinking globally of like what's happening in our city, what's happening in our state, our world. And so all of that can make us feel like we don't have control over anything. And that is where anxiety really does show up. Anxiety calls us to want to do something, but if you feel like you really don't have the tools to do something, then you're going to be increasingly more in distress.
You know, we always have a phone right next to us, and there's a reason the doom scrolling is a thing, so that constant being inundated with messaging is a challenge. What do you think is still holding people back, maybe from getting the support that they really need?
Yes, I think it's still conversation and maybe just a lack of understanding around what is mental health, what is mental illness, and really what can you do about it. And so I really do feel like it's becoming more and more talked about and less stigmatized, but the stigmas are still there. In certain communities, there may not be as much conversation or knowledge. And so it's really important to find the resources that would say, hey, this is something that a lot of people experience and it's okay, it's a part of us, we can do something about it.
And even if someone does want to reach out, there is still the question of access to care. What is the greatest challenge, especially maybe in rural or lower income areas?
In rural and lower income areas, the barriers are actual providers, like who is available to be of service, and also access and money, really healthcare costs. And if you are on a really extreme budget, then you would see that mental health care would be a luxury instead of a necessity, right? And so that is where it is so important to pour more resources and find more ways of supporting so that you can look at your health holistically and not just what is the physical need, but the mental need too, because it is all interconnected and related.
All right. We started with the message that no one is alone, and I guess we end with that message too. And our thanks for your time. Really appreciate that, Laura Morse.
Take care. Thank you.